All right, guys. So my last video didn't get like a ton of views. Um, I'm not sure why. Maybe because it didn't have charting and stuff on it. But the thing is I'm not here to give you an edge in trading in terms of predicting where the market's going to go. You're going to have to figure that data out yourself. I've made a lot of videos on it before. You can work with that stuff. You have to figure out your own stuff too. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you an edge in risk management in terms of optimal risk per trade. And what you're looking at right now is the secret. So you have to have an edge, obviously, in trading first. So the edge meaning that you make money. So once you are a profitable trader, I'm going to show you how based on the statistics of your system, how to risk the optimal amount per trade. No more, no less. If you risk more, you'll blow the account. If you risk less, you won't make as much as you could have. Okay? Makes sense, right? You want to do that. You don't want to risk more. You don't want to blow your account. You don't want to risk less. You don't want to make less money. You have to make the optimal amount. Here's the formula. You first have to figure out the break-even win rate of your strategy. It's pretty simple. You add the risk and the reward. You take one and divide it by that. Let's say you can also use this website and it'll do it for you, but it's a pretty simple formula. Here, let's say you have a 1 to 4. The break even of a 1 to 4 with a 4 reward, 1 risk is 20%. Let's say that you have a 4 to 1, but you have a 25% win rate. That means you have an edge in the market, right? Congratulations. You've now beat 99% of traders, and now you are going to be eventually rich, provided that your edge stays around and doesn't get countered by a big institution or something, which is potentially a risk, but it depends on how your strategy works. How do you calculate the most to risk? So once you have the break-even win rate, 20%, and again, we're hypothetically saying we have a 25%. We take 25%, subtract 20 from it, you have 5%. 5%, that's how much you risk per trade. That simple. Watch this. Let's say you start with $1,000. You risk 5%, which we just calculated, 4 to 1, 25% win rate. Look at this. After 100 trades, 225% gain on the account. Now, there will be big drawdowns occasionally, just saying. After another 100 trades, minus 20%. You're still up from your starting balance, though, correct? After another 100 trades, okay, only about 1% up. Lots of wins and losses. So be it. It happens. Okay? Wow, another 100 trades, down 60%. You might be thinking, like, wow, this is crazy. Like, why would I do this? Okay? I'm going to show you. Stick with it. After another 100 trades, 104% on the account. Another 100 trades, 104% on the account. Another 100 trades, 225% on the account. Another 100 trades, 60% on the account. So I warned you there would be drawdown, and I'm actually kind of glad it happened early. Maybe it'll drive away some unbelievers. But in the long run, as you can see, this is the optimal amount to be risking. At first, you might have thought, like, oh, wow, those first, like, 400 trades, I would have had, like, no gains. Yeah, but if you'd stuck around for another, if you stick around for 1,000 more trades after that, you're going to be 8-9 figure trader. So it's up to you if you want to be patient. This is a patience game. Look at this. Okay, so makes sense, right? At first it seemed iffy. Got really unlucky. That happens. That was very unlucky. As you can see, every trade since then has had significant gains on the accounts, right? Every 100 trades. But sometimes you will have drawdowns. Sometimes it'll be just like a measly 28% per 100 trades, which is still great, by the way. But, sometimes it'll be 700%. But what you can see is that it's trending up, and now the account's at $68 million. So the point of this is to show you that. This is the amount you should be risking per trade. Now, I don't know what your strategy is. Maybe you have one that's only a 2 to 1, but you win 40% of the time. Okay, so 2 to 1, what's the break even? 33.33%. You can go a little above or a little below. If you want to be safe, risk 6%, or you could risk 7%, a little bit more risky. That's going to be fine. So you've got a 40% win rate on a 2 to 1. Your risk is 7% per trade. Let's do this again, starting from $1,000. 100 trades, 448% on the account. Another 100 trades, the same gain on the account, 448%. Another 100 trades. You see? You're risking the optimal amount. Now, okay, admittedly here, 90% drawdown, but you are still higher than when you started out. And watch, if you run it again, 572%. So, and you know, again, I said that 7 is a little bit higher than optimal F, right? Remember that? So that's, you do run the risk of having a bigger drawdown. But again, even with a 90% drawdown, you will recover if you run it in the long run. Again, 42% drawdown. You might think, well, this sucks. This sucks. 28, 50, you see how it's drawing down, correct? But then look, 900% on the account. Okay, so this is optimal F trading, okay? It's not, it's extremely volatile, meaning that, you know, you got to have some balls to do it. But if you see the stats in the long run, the rule of large numbers says that this now is $9 million. And remember, you had an 89% drawdown at one point. Do you have the balls to keep doing the strategy, trusting the math? Because if you did, now you have $28 million. Now you have $281 million. So this is optimal F trading. And people have done this before. Look up Larry Williams and Ralph Vince. They did this and won the 1987 Robbins World Cup of Trading doing this. $10,000 to $1 million in 1 year. They hit a 90% drawdown also at one point. Now, if you only did 6% trade, I can guarantee it wouldn't have done the 90% drawdown, and maybe would have been like a 60-70% drawdown at some point at worst. You know, but the gains would also be smaller too. It would take longer to make the money. So, but you know, 7% again is a little bit above optimal F on this. So technically there's a very small chance you can blow the account when you're risking a little bit more. But again, you get the gist of it. It's still working, right? You're not pushing the edge so much more that it's going to be like that, you know, that it's likely to blow. But if you want to be safe, do 6.5% or whatever, you know. But here you can see 90% drawdown on the account, but the rule of large numbers dictates that a strategy with an edge risking the optimal F will massively grow in the long run. But it will incur 50%, 80% drawdowns at some point. But again, even at that point, remember, when it had that 90% drawdown, I forget what it went down to, like $15,000 or something. But remember, the account started at $1,000. So even after a 90% drawdown, the count is still 15 times bigger than what it started at, right? Just based on when and where that 90% drawdown happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen right at the beginning. There's still a chance of that. But as you can see, this is the way to trade, okay? Takes balls, but at the same time it doesn't. It just takes trusting the math. So it is what it is. All right, that's all for today, guys. Take care.